Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and check out our podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. We appreciate any way you find us and listen to the show and to the radio station as well. And remember, Top 50 is always on Friday, Top 50, and that's you, the listener, who tells us what you would like for us to play on the radio station. And then also, everything that you would like for us to talk about, send an email to donna@icradio.media. That's donna@icradio.media. We've been talking about finances. We're they're calling it a recession, I think, maybe. That's what it feels like to me, almost a downright depression. But anyway, we're talking about ways you can save money, but now there are also ways you need to plan, whether you're having a recession or not. Even in the best of economic times, you need to start planning for a better future for yourself. So we're going to talk about a good monthly retirement income, okay? Retirement income. Now, this is for everybody, okay? So even if you're just in high school, you're getting your first new job, you need to already start thinking about retirement, because I promise you, take this from an old person here, those years will fly by. And before you know it, you're at retirement age and you have nothing saved. So let's talk about that. If you're dreaming of a comfortable retirement, everybody does. If you ever wonder how much money you'll need to support your lifestyle after you leave the workplace, with many variables to consider, planning for retirement can really seem like a daunting job, okay? So don't worry. This blogger right here is Financer.com. That's FINANCER.com. In this blog post is some really good information. So what they're going to do, they've already done it. They're exploring the essential factors that determine how much monthly income you need to make in retirement. Now, this is a fact right here. According to the Social Security Administration, the average monthly Social Security benefit for retirees in 2023 is $1,545. But this may not be sufficient, especially for those who are used to a more lavish lifestyle. But there are different ways you can bring more income into your household. Whether you're just starting to think about your golden years or you're already counting down the days until retirement, keep reading for practical tips, and let me go ahead and get those tips to you for making your golden years truly a golden. Now, what I love about this website is they have all kinds of calculators will help you figure out what kind of income you need to make. So there's a retirement income calculator on this. Now, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to make it two shows, part A and part 1 and part 2. So in the post, we're going to find out what a retirement is and why is it important. Then we're going to talk about what are the different types of retirement income, how to calculate your monthly retirement income needs, strategies for maximizing your retirement income, tips on creating a retirement budget, and what are some other ways to increase your retirement income summary. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay, what is retirement and why is it important? Okay, let's see what this blogger says. Retirement is a time when people can enjoy their life without the worries of working to support themselves. For many, it's a time to travel, spend time with family, pursue hobbies and interests. It's also a really important time for retirement to have the lifestyle you want and not have to worry about income. You don't have to worry about money, okay? There are many factors to consider when planning for retirement, such as how much money you will need to support yourself, how long you expect to live, and what your health care cost will be. You also need to think about whether you want to leave a legacy or provide for your family after you're gone. Retirement planning is important because it can help ensure that you have the financial resources you need to live and the lifestyle you want in retirement. It can also give you peace of mind knowing that you have taken care of your financial future. Okay, now what are the different types of retirement income? Okay, let's talk about those. There are more than you may think. Okay, there are 4 main types of retirement income: Social Security, pensions, annuities, and 401ks or IRAs. Now, depending on how inflation has taken over, some of this income can really vary. Okay, you can be better than you thought you were going to be, or worse off than you thought you were going to be. Social Security. Social Security is a government program that provides a monthly financial benefit to retired Americans. The amount of the benefit is based on the worker's earnings history. Okay, let's talk about pensions. Pensions are another source of retirement income typically provided by an employer. They often take the form of defined benefit plan, which means that the employee will receive a set monthly payment after retirement. Now let's talk about annuities. We're going to get into more details about these as the show goes on, and this is part 1 and then versus part 2. Annuities are contracts that provide guaranteed income for life. They can be purchased from an insurance company or through a 401k or from an IRA. Now, 401k and IRAs are savings plans that offer tax benefits to encourage individuals to save for retirement. Contributions can be made pre-tax or after tax, and the funds in these accounts can be used to purchase annuities at retirement. Okay, again, there are calculators on this website, financer.com, and you'll be able to pull that up. How to calculate your monthly retirement income needs. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Now, when you're planning for retirement, one of the most important questions is how much monthly income you'll need to maintain your lifestyle. There are a number of factors to consider, like your expected expenses, and it's going to go up. That's one thing I know. Inflation going up, and whether you plan to continue working in some capacity. And again, we've got that online calculator that you can use to help you calculate. Now, calculating retirement income can be challenging. I promise you that, but it's essential to get a rough estimate of what you expect. And you can start by determining how much income you will need each year to cover your living expenses. Now, this is the general rule of thumb. Aim for 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income. I would even go at a different rate. But anyway, at least 70 to 80%. Once you have an estimate of your monthly expenditures, you can start to think about how much income you'll need to cover these costs. I know that, life happens. Different things can happen. There are a lot of retirees who are actually taking care of their grandkids right now. Some reason or another, maybe their kids can't handle the kids. And so that's added expense. So you need to think about possible ways that your income could be affected. Okay, so here's a monthly retirement income formula. Okay, income required, retirement expenses, and it's the spam risk coming in. Let's get rid of that. Over time, okay, and then let's do this again. I got interrupted by a spam call. Okay, income required, retirement expenses, retirement income from other sources. Now, consider also the impact of inflation on your retirement income needs. Over time, the cost of goods and services will always, it's just always going to increase. So it's important to account for that in your planning. Now, this is another good rule of thumb, is to assume that inflation will eat up about 3% of your purchasing power each year. No kidding. I would say in some cases more than that. Depends on who the president is. Okay. Finally, think about whether you plan to continue working in some capacity during retirement. Phil and I, we already chose to do that. First of all, we would drive each other insane if we were both retired right now. So we continue to work. So it's just because we've worked our entire lives. Now, if you decide in some capacity to work during retirement, that can also help offset some of your living expenses and reduce the amount of income that you'll need from other sources. How much savings will you need to retire? Let's talk about that for just a few minutes. Okay, once you know how much income you'll need, the next step is to calculate how much savings you'll need to produce that retirement income monthly. You can use the calculator, or you can use the 4% rule, which means your first income retirement year, you can withdraw 4% of your retirement savings. For example, let's talk about this. If you have $500, that's good. If you have $500 saved, you would take $20,000 from your savings during that first year of retirement. Most of us is going to be a lot less than that, but this is just a general figure. Now, this can be a lump sum or a series of payments. In the years following, you can adjust the amount upward to keep up with inflation. Now, here's the 4% rule formula. Retirement savings target equals annual income required by 25. Okay? Now, there are some flaws with the 4% rule, as it assumes you will withdraw the same amount from your retirement savings every year, inflation adjusted. Now, in some cases, you may want to withdraw more than the standard 4%. This goes to show just how essential it is to have some cash on hand as a retiree, okay? And also it depends on what your job experience has been. I know some people who retired from teaching are going back in because they just don't feel like is the time. Now, I would assume teaching is a lot different than it was 20 years ago. So, you know, if you decided to go back in and take the plunge and teach again, anything else, I'll tell you something I love about the technical jobs, you know, your welding and anything where you're working with your hands. I love those jobs. Let me tell you what I really like about them. And you can get the degree, be a teacher, be whatever you want to do, nurse, and you know, and even nursing, you can go for other ideas as you retire. But I like the way technical jobs grow with you throughout the years. Okay, so let's say I want to become a welder, okay, and there are men and women welders that are really, really good at what they do. So let's just say you want to work for the man, okay? So you get your job, first job, and you're working for somebody, you're making really good money. And then, you know, you've worked with them 10 years, you get a really good experience base going right there. And you decide 10, 15, 20 years, you want to own your own business. You're older, you got the experience, think you can run a business now, and you, or maybe the business shut down, you're sort of forced to go ahead and start your own business. And you can do that because you've got the experience to do so. Okay, so I went from working with someone to actually starting my own business. Okay, I've been successful in the business. I'm a really good welder, plumber, whatever, and I'm really good at it. And I decide, you know, I think I'll just hand it on down to the kids, you know, or maybe I'll just sell the business, do whatever. And so you've sold your business. Okay, you're driving your wife or your husband insane, okay, because you're home all the time. And both of you have retired. You know what you could do? You could work on contract. You can go into companies and teach companies on how to be the best craftsmen or their employees, how to be really good employees. And you're constantly taking trade experience certificates, by the way. So you're way up on, you're on spot on what welding is these days. And you got that going on. I know somebody's doing that. So what he is doing, he's retired from it, but he and his wife decide they want to take a trip maybe to Hawaii or something. He'll say, well, let me just go ahead and talk to some customers and let's talk to some companies and see if they'll let me go in and train their employees and make some income. You are an independent contractor at that time. They're paying you. Now you'll still have to pay taxes on it. But keep up with the expenses that it took for you to have the training and that kind of thing. And you'll find that you'll be in pretty good shape. So, and I'm going to tell you what a teacher can be, as long as they got their act together and as long as you've got the experience and you're up on what the new way to run that job is, you'll have income coming to you the rest of your life. You just will. So that's what I love about trade jobs. Let's go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're for a break talking about skilled workers. And you start that career, it'll just be with you for a lifetime because skilled workers are always going to be in need. I mean, employers are always going to be looking for people who know what they're doing when it comes to skills. Okay, so go to school, go to Northeast Alabama Community College, go ahead and get that degree, or go ahead and get that certificate, and you're set for life. Okay, that's a for sure right there. Okay, now we're talking about strategies for your income. How much savings will you need to retire? Those are some really important things. Let's talk about strategies for maximizing your retirement income. Now, there's a number of, we just talked about one, and that's if you have a skilled job career and you worked for the man, then you started your own business, or maybe you worked for the man forever. It doesn't matter. In your retirement years, you can be a teacher. And you can see if you can get you a job down at Northeast or Sneed State Junior College. You never know what's going to come out of it. You can just go out and package your own self and let a company see your credentials, and you're going out there and start teaching employees on how to weld or how to do whatever it is that you do. That's just a good thing to do right there. Get an add to your income. Now, strategies for maximizing your retirement income. Now, there are a number of strategies that can be employed to help you maximize your retirement income. Okay, first of all, make sure you have a diversified portfolio of investments. This will help ensure that you have a steady stream of income throughout your retirement. Again, you don't even have to have that. Have a trade job, and it will go with you the rest of your life. Okay, start withdrawing from your retirement accounts as early as possible. This will allow you to take advantage of compound interest and make the most of your nest egg. That's what Brad has done. And so what he has done, he has a retirement account already, and he's only 40. He'll be 44 on his birthday. He has already actually taken a loan out from his compound interest account. He's paying his own self-interest. That's how you do it. That's the smart way. Keep your expenses in check during retirement. This will help you to stretch those dollars further and make the most of your limited income. Now, this is something else I want you to think about. And this is when you remember everything in life. Okay, so you have a retirement account. You've got a diversified portfolio investments. Remember these people you are hiring. And let me tell you something. I know it seems like I turn everything into politics. If I'm looking for someone to leave my money with, I would much rather that person be a conservative. I'm sorry. That's exactly how I look at it. If this person is a true conservative, and they're a true conservative in politics, they're conservative in how they handle their own income, that person's going to make you some money. That's your best shot. I'm sorry, common sense working here. But I'm saying that for everybody, okay? All right, so make sure you have diversified. You're keeping the expenses during check. We've talked about that. Okay, now let's talk about tips for creating a retirement budget. Okay, this is really important right here. So when it comes to creating a retirement budget, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. First of all, determine that monthly income. This includes any pensions, Social Security, or other sources of income. Some people can, and I'm talking to you young folks right now, there are some people who could look down on a particular job. I've heard people make fun of the lunchroom ladies. Well, let me tell you something. My aunt was a lunchroom lady forever. Okay, guess what? She not only is drawing her Social Security, she's drawing an income from being a lunchroom lady for working for the state of Alabama. So she's a lot better off than a lot of y'all were that made fun of lunchroom ladies. She got it going on. And so she did this. I know that she worked the lunchroom when I was going to Oxford High School, the junior high, and then Oxford High School. I'm not sure when she retired. She worked as long as she could because she just liked working, and she loved connecting with the kids. So it was just another source of income. Do you realize school systems are begging for people to work in the lunchroom? They're begging for school bus drivers. Be a school bus driver for 10 years. You're going to have a retirement income coming in. A lot of folks, smart people, are doing that. Be in the janitorial service for a high school or for any school in the state of Alabama, or even in your state. You need to check these out. Schools, they're begging for people to work, okay? Work it out 10 years. Let's say you got a late start on it. You're 50 years old, got a late start, didn't really plan on it and that kind of thing. At 50 years old, work there 10 years, you're going to be able to retire with 2 checks coming in. You're going to have your Social Security coming in, and you're also going to have that check from working in the lunchroom, being a janitor, driving a school bus. It's a pretty decent income. Think about that, young folks. You can spend a lot of money, and you can still go to college now if you want to do that, but you can be saving up and paying cash instead of having this huge financial debt, okay? All right, determine the monthly income. This includes any pensions, being a bus driver or whatever, your Social Security, or other sources of income. That can mean that you sell something on eBay. I do that every month. That can mean I've got a garden and I'm selling on the marketplace on Facebook, or I'm selling food at the farmer's market. Anything like that is income. Working from your home is a wonderful thing, and working from your home, having a garden, and you're selling food is a super awesome thing. It most certainly is. Need to check that thing out. Okay, subtract. We've determined what the monthly income is. So you're subtracting your monthly expenses from your monthly income. This should give you the idea of how much money you got left over at the end of the month. You can still save. And again, you're saving money. When you save money, that's like earning money. We talked about that in another show just a couple days ago. Okay, number 3, make sure to factor the inflation when budgeting for retirement. Now, price on items tend to go up over time. Let's just use a dozen eggs, for example. We all know that, okay? Not only the price of things, but, the supply chain. What if, I can find eggs, but because of inflation, they've went up to $7 a dozen. And because of that, I'm paying more. All those things you got to think about. Because this is not the first time this has happened, okay? We're fussing about this, but it's happened before. I remember in the 70s it happened when I was graduating from high school. And we can say it has nothing to do with Jimmy Carter or with Biden, but, those things are happening. Subtract your monthly expenses from your monthly income. That gives you the idea of how much money you got left over. Try to save that as much as you can. Make sure to factor in inflation when budgeting for retirement. We talked about that earlier, but please do. Prices on items tend to go up over time, so you'll need to account for that. Don't forget about unexpected expenses. If you got a car, somewhere down the line, you're going to have to buy tires for that car. Somewhere down the line, you got to get the brakes fixed. Somewhere down the line, alternator's going to tear up. Somewhere down the line, you got to have a battery, and I fussed about this a lot. I remember when batteries were like $19.99, and they're much more expensive than that now. Thank God I've got a husband who knows how to put a battery in a car. Because if he didn't know how to do that, you know what? I'd have to hire somebody to put a battery in the car. So unexpected expenses, something's going to happen to your plumbing. It could be in the wintertime. Maybe you thought you had the water running in the wintertime and it hit freezing and the pipes have busted. Guess what? You got to hire a plumber. And guess what? A whole bunch of folks like you forgot to leave the water running. And so he's very busy. So guess what? He's going to go up on the price of doing things. That's just the way it goes. And some things we just have to think about. Okay, so unexpected expenses, you need to have some money like for medical bills, might catch the flu. There's all kinds of things that can happen. Or home repairs. Yeah, that can happen. You're living in a house. It's not going to always look like it does right this very minute. You're going to need to paint some. There's be times there may be a piece of wood rotting. Maybe you didn't know you had a leak in water, like in your tub or whatever. That's what we've experienced by moving into my grandparents' house. So we've had to deal with that. But things happen, okay? Kids are going to get sick, got to get cough medicine, got all that kind of stuff going on. Number 5, review the budget regularly and make adjustments as needed. Just like pruning a tree, you got to prune back on your budget too. As your income or expenses change, so should your budget. Okay, folks, I've got to call it a day. We are at the end of this particular segment. I'm going to have a part 2 coming up shortly, so make sure you hang around. Maybe the next day or two you'll see another parts of this one. But again, thank you so much for watching The Edge on IAC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications and Abundant Television. We are syndicated. You can find us on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. That's a bunch of nets. netnewsnetwork.net. 3 nets in there. Thank you again so much for watching. You take care. I'll be seeing you shortly.